This is the limitless Keith Lee.
This is Brody King.
This is Angel Garza.
Will Ospreay.
Hornswoggle.
Pentagon Jr.
The Mexican Ray Phoenix.
King Ricochet.
Concrete Rose, Sunny Kiss.
And I'm here to ask you to stop what you're doing, take just one moment, and bask in the glory of the Busted Wide Open.
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 Boston Wide Open.
Busted wide open. Thank you.
You're listening to the Busted Wide Open podcast, dropping the elbow on the hottest topics in sports entertainment and the world of professional wrestling. With your hosts, Nick Howell and Sir Ian Dangerous. Coming to you from the Orbital Jigsaw Network Arena in sunny Southern California. Welcome everybody to BWO Live, coming to you from across the Busted Wide Open universe of Twitch, YouTube, and Facebook. This is the This is the BWO Mailbag, episode number 92. My name is Nick Howell.
And I am Sir Ian Dangerous, and yes, indeed, Mr. Howell, we are here to answer questions. Questions that you all have asked us over the course of this last week. That is, of course, if you are one of our patrons or one of our YouTube subscribers. Of course, you can head over to either of those places to do that. Linktree.com/BWO in order to find all of our links, including the ones that let you ask questions on this show. You just sign up for one of our reward tiers, and you too can ask us questions on this show. What kind of questions you might ask? Well, that's easy. It's an AMA. You can ask us anything.
Yeah.
Just whatever you feel like. We are a wrestling show, so typically it's wrestling questions. But it can be anything you want. Anything. We'll answer it. We'll do our best to. Sometimes asking us questions that we don't have any idea about is part of the fun.
Yes.
Trying to make us look weird and crazy.
Make
and
us
stupid.
sweat.
But yeah, try to make us break a sweat. Try it. Come on. Bring it on. I dare you. But yeah, that's what this show is for. We are here to answer those questions. And Nick, I understand that we have those questions, so let's not waste any more time.
Yes.
Let's answer some of those questions.
Yes, kicking things off this week with our faithful moderator, Mr. Andy Jessup, sneaking into the
Nice.
first pole position.
Nice.
Hey, gents, finally, after many attempts, I am
What's
the
up, sir?
first post. Congratulations, sir, on finally getting there. What's more important to you, a well-told story with bad wrestlers doing dog shit work, or a crap story but with world-class wrestlers giving their all? Let's start there.
Ooh. A well-told story with bad wrestlers. I'm even trying to think of a time that I've seen that. I mean, because here's the thing, is so much of the time. Well, you know what? No, hold on a second. We go to this a lot. I mean, but bad wrestlers, though, like calling someone a bad wrestler is a hard thing to do. But I would say that, like, companies where they've covered up their own employees' weak points, like ECW, right? Sandman is not a great wrestler.
No.
And Raven is a decent wrestler. He's a pretty good wrestler, but more of a mind than anything else. But, you know, he's totally fine. He's fine in the ring. But, like, their feud was amazing. It was insane. And that's because ECW is really good at hiding its talent's weak parts. And Lucha Underground was really good at that too. Because you had some people in Lucha Underground who... You had a lot of very, very good wrestlers in Lucha Underground. But some, of course, were better than others. Some didn't have any personality. And they hid that really well. And they were able to show off the coolest things about some of these people.
A Drago.
Drago's got zero personality.
All gimmick.
But my God, was he cool?
Yeah, he was.
Cool as hell.
Coming out and doing
Aerostar.
the thing every time. Oh, God, it creeped me out every single time.
Aerostar. Zero personality. Cool as hell wrestler.
Yeah.
Great stories. But a crap story with world-class wrestlers. I see that every week on WWE.
Yep.
And you know what? This is weird to say, but I think I'd rather see a well-told story than like, than a bad story with good. Because a bad story with good wrestlers, I sit there and go, they're better than this.
Yep.
I sit there and go, why are they wasting their talents with this story, right? Let's say, for example, you have, what would you rather have? Well, this is a tough one to say, but would you rather see like a world-class actor, let's say like Ben Kingsley, right? Or name a world-class actor, like a Oscar-winning, brilliant Meryl Streep.
Denzel Washington.
Ben Kingsley, Meryl Streep, and Denzel Washington in a Brett Ratner movie that is just like the worst thing you've ever seen. Would you rather watch that, or would you rather watch Fast and the Furious?
Fast and the Furious every time.
With a bunch of like halfway decent actors with a crap story.
With a good story.
But it's
okay. So the juxtaposition is
exciting. Everything else is exciting around it. My point.
Yeah.
Right.
Here's a real life one. We think very highly of Bobby Lashley, right?
Sure.
We think extremely highly of Miro.
Yes.
The whole love angle with Lana, you were actually on board with for a short period of time.
1 week.
A week. Crap story. World-class wrestlers. Awful. It was absolutely awful to watch. World-class wrestlers.
Yep. It's so weird to think about, because I was actually kind of working through this question while we were talking about it. And to say, like, I would rather watch a good story with bad wrestlers is that's a weird one to come down on with this.
Yeah.
But I would rather watch that than watch world-class wrestlers waste themselves.
Totally.
Yeah. There you go, Andy.
Yeah. He said, can we give examples? We did give examples of both. There we go.
We did.
Stay safe and stay sexy. Thank you very much, Andy. Appreciate the question. That's a good one.
Thank you, brother.
Man, that makes the wheels turn.
That I'm going to be pondering that.
Yeah. I'm going to be constantly thinking of like
Do
examples.
I really like, because my instinct would be like, no, give me the good wrestlers. But I'm like, a story might be more important to me.
Story is 100% more important to me. Absolutely more important to me.
Like, even if I watch an incredible match in the service of zero story, it will feel empty.
That was most of PWG.
No, there was a
There
story.
were a lot of stories going on in PWG, but god damn, the
just
matches
didn't know it
were
'cause
insane.
You didn't know it because you were seeing it from the balcony. That's the only place you could. You didn't see all the
3
in-between
pitchers
stuff.
of beer deep. You know.
That's there wasn't any story. Lawrence of Arabia.
God
There's no
damn, look at
story
Ricochet
whatsoever.
flying all over the place. I don't know what's going on here, but
There's absolutely no story in this War and Peace book. I mean, granted, I'm wasted, but I just can't tell what's going on. I don't know.
Thank you, Andy. Next up, Jacob Uhas. Almost got in first. Said, hello, guys. Hope all is well. Book an Ultimate X match using 2 wrestlers each from Raw, SmackDown, and NXT.
Thank
Thank you. Have a great day and stay safe.
Okay. You take. Do you want to take Raw or SmackDown, and then we'll split NXT?
Okay. I'll take Raw.
Aw, thank you. Actually, that's tough. SmackDown's harder.
Are we talking about an X Division match? TNA X Division match?
Yeah, TNA X Division.
Okay.
Ultimate X.
I don't know. AJ Styles?
Come on, man. You wouldn't take someone. You've got Raw.
Ricochet?
Thank you. Jesus.
Only one of the most notorious
At
X
least-
Division champions of TNA, Mr. AJ McStyles?
That's what I'm saying. We've seen it. We've seen it. Get some new. You've got all of Raw. Get some new blood in there.
Okay. Challenge accepted. Cedric Alexander.
Yeah. Thank you. I don't know. Has Cedric ever been in one?
I don't believe so.
I don't think so. I don't think he has. No, he was too heavy.
Yeah, I remember Jacob.
He lost me. Yeah.
How about you? SmackDown.
love Jay. No limits, not weight limits. Thank you. SmackDown. Rey Mysterio's never been in one. Are you sticking to AJ Styles and Ricochet? That's it?
No, I'll go Cedric Alexander.
Oh, Cedric and Ricochet. Okay.
Yeah, I'll do Ricochet and Cedric. Yeah.
I wouldn't have minded Ricochet and Morrison, but you do you.
Yep.
That's cool.
Yep.
I'll take Rey Mysterio and I will take Seth Rollins.
Ooh. Oh, I like Seth in an X Division match.
Mm-hmm.
Ooh, that's good.
Mm-hmm.
For NXT.
NXT, you take one and I'll take one.
Santos Escobar.
Knew that was coming. I will go with
Killshot.
Bronson Reed.
Damn it!
Because it's about
You brought in the heavy.
no limit. I did. Imagine what he could do with all those little guys.
Oh, what a perfect base for all those guys flying around all over the place. So, Ricochet, Cedric Alexander, Seth Rollins, Rey Mysterio, Bronson Reed, and King Cuerno.
Santos Escobar.
Santos Escobar. Holy shit.
El Fantasma.
Put that
he
in
was
my eye holes.
Was he ever in an X Division? He was never, not a Super X match.
Not that I'm aware of, no. I first became aware of him in at Lucha Underground.
Well, he wasn't, he'd spent actually most of those Lucha Underground guys spent a cup of coffee in Impact on their way to wherever they went. So, and Phantasma was in Impact for a minute.
Was that because of the crossover with Mexico, or is that more? No?
I was just, they were just buying dudes up.
All right.
I mean, you remember Pentagon was their champ for a minute.
Wow.
So.
No, I didn't remember that. Interesting.
Yeah.
Hey, Bagels for 3, resubscribe with the Twitch Prime for 6 months.
Nice.
Oh, man, you know what that 6 months means? It means you get a little piece of...
Good.
Good. Thank you very much, Bagels, for the resub. Appreciate it, man.
Nice.
Let's see. God, I want to see that match now. I keep thinking about that. Well, that's like half of Lucha Underground. Well, I guess it's just Ricochet and King Cuerno.
That's it.
You should have said Swerve.
And Ray, I guess. Ray.
Yeah, Ray too. Yeah, half the match is Lucha Underground alumni. Of course it is.
Of
course we would pick that, right?
They're everywhere these days,
Right.
though. Anyway, there you go.
Next up, Mr. Marshall in Low says, evening, fellas. Recently, the New Day Pod did a March Madness type tournament for the greatest toy ever.
Greatest toy ever?
Below is their Elite 8. So debate the following and decide between yourselves and use the dice and or BWO universe to decide tiebreakers if need be.
I already have my winner, but okay.
As always, y'all remain phenomenal and can't wait to represent BWO at AEW's Fight for the Fallen. That's right. It's tomorrow in Charlotte, North Carolina.
Yes!
It's far enough away that it was just
fun, dude.
inconvenient enough for me to not be able to go. And I'm not happy about it, but it's just, God. As Howard Stark once said,
have fun, Marshall.
No amount of money ever bought a second of time. So Power Wheels versus Nerf Crossbow. That's Power Wheels for me.
Power Wheels for me.
Yep.
Nerf Crossbow was fun, but you got to go pick up the darts every time as opposed to Power Wheels, Power Wheels.
And doing like
all day long.
drift skids in the street.
Oh, dude.
Like 8 years old. And, I'm like, this is like before we got go-karts and we were stupid and didn't even wear helmets and we were doing 60 miles an hour down our neighborhood on a metal tray, basically.
And that's the thing. To be clear, I never had either Power Wheels or Nerf Crossbow. I had a red wagon.
Oh.
And I rode that red wagon down a 45-degree hill straight into chain link fence over and over and over again.
Attaboy.
Just to bounce on the chain link fence.
Yeah.
It was like a vertical trampoline.
Yeah.
You just crash into it. Because that's what you could do when you're a kid. If I did that now, I'd probably splinter into 1,000 pieces. When I was a kid, I'd drive that thing down a damn hill. So I didn't have a Power Wheels. But of the two, I'd take Power Wheels. My friends had it, and they were cool.
So we had one of those ramps in a nearby pond, fishing pond. It was only about 8 feet deep. But we had one of those. We built up a dirt ramp, and then we put like 2 pieces of plywood on the end of it, and it made it like a ramp. And we would ride an engineless riding lawnmower down this hill. And it had a rope tied to it that we tied off to the tree so we could pull it back in.
Engineless.
Redneck
This is the
AF
difference
in North
South.
Carolina,
I was
folks.
about to say, North Carolina. We had an engineless riding mower just sitting around, so we decided to ride it into the pond.
If you're from the South, you're nodding going, yeah, I've done that.
Yeah.
I know about that.
I've ridden the old engineless riding motor into the creek.
Yeah, you take those engines weigh about 100 pounds. You take them out and that thing's like it might as well be a lunch tray. There's no weight to those little aluminum bodies on the riding lawnmower.
Oh, God.
But the wheels just wobbling. You're doing about 30 miles an hour down this ramped hill and whoom, and it just launches you up into the air. I had several not so favorable falls with that one. Never broke a bone, though. But, yeah. Next one, X-Men figures versus the Super Soaker.
Super Soaker.
I am on Team Super Soaker hard here.
Yeah, sorry. Super Soaker is one of the most genius inventions ever. You create pressure in one part of the gun to force the water out. Brilliant. Yeah. And that changed the game. X-Men figures are just one type of figure. Yeah. And there have been millions of brilliant action figures. Super Soaker was one of the most ingenious inventions in the history of water sports, in the history of soaking your friends with liquid.
Yep.
That was the game changer. I remember the first time that we were having squirt gun battles and someone brought a Super Soaker, and it was like the U.S. being like, by the way, we have a nuclear weapon.
Right.
It stops everything else.
Yep.
The war's over.
Those little plastic 7-Eleven trigger pull gun.
Right. That you couldn't water a plant with those things.
And some dude shows up with like a shoulder holster Super Soaker. It's got 3 gallons of water in it.
Yeah. Oh, Jesus Christ. I mean, you're out of water in no time to reload. But by that time you reload, everyone might as well have taken a shower because they're just Super Soaker all day long.
Next up, Ghostbuster figures versus Lego.
Lego. This is not even a question.
Nope.
Again, with the figures, Lego, like Super Soaker, changed the game.
Yep.
Changed the game. I could wax poetic about how incredible Lego is.
Yeah. And finally, Play-Doh versus Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtle figures. I mean, Play-Doh for me.
Play-Doh.
I ate a lot of it as a kid.
It's
kind of salty.
I'm not going to take figures on any of these because to me, all action figures are kind of bundled together in your action figures. There was no action figures that were so superlative that they beat something that is
game-changing,
iconic.
Yeah,
iconic in terms of how many kids play with Play-Doh, how many kids play with TMNT figures. I didn't have TMNT figures. Did you?
No, I only really had G.I. Joe figures, I think. Those are the only action figures I really got.
Star Wars and He-Man. And I had a few other minor ones. Yeah. But that's also our age, but fine. But the point is that we all had Play-Doh.
Yeah.
Everyone had Play-Doh.
Everybody at some point has squished Play-Doh in their hands or tried to mold something out of it or use the cookie cutters or easy bake ovens or whatever the hell you want to use, right?
All right, so let's break this down. Power Wheels versus Super Soaker.
Ooh.
I got to go Super Soaker.
I got to go Super Soaker. There's no disagreement there.
Yeah. That's
it. I can vividly remember it the first time it showed up at the pool as a kid. We were all like, what is that?
Yeah.
Right?
I still remember my first one.
God.
I remember it very clearly. I remember the way it feels, how much it weighs. I remember running with it.
Yeah.
All of that is very clear. Lego versus Play-Doh.
My heart wants Play-Doh, but it's got to be Legos.
It's got to be Lego. Lego is Play-Doh when you start making solid forms.
Yeah.
Right? It's whatever you want it to be. The whole point of Lego is, and I'm going to take a slight tangent here. The Lego movie, the very first Lego movie is probably, that movie blew my mind. And I know that term is overused, but it made me have to go out into my car afterwards and just think. That's how good that movie was. Not because it succeeded as a fun little kids adventure movie. It succeeded as a comedy. It succeeded as something that speaks to both the children and the adults in the audience. But it also spoke as a advertisement, as a commercial, a feature-length commercial. Because it's what it was. It's a movie about a product. It's a movie about something that, hey, you can go buy. And the movie was very clear. Go buy our product because our product will make you have fun, which is what every product movie wants to be, right? The G.I. Joe movie was, aren't these characters cool? Go buy the toys that go with this movie. That's the point of any product's movie. But the difference about the Lego movie was that they didn't just say, go buy our product because it's fun. They said, go buy our product because it's creative.
Yeah.
And we're not going to tell you how to use our product because you can use our product for anything. You can use our product to just make something completely stupid and ridiculous, and we don't care. You can use it to make the most incredible work of art. You can use it to make something that no one's ever made before, and we don't care. That's what the product is for. It isn't just what the product is, it's what the product isn't that makes our product special.
And it's going through a bit of a renaissance the last few years because all of these kits that have come out, they've figured out that they can tap into other layers of fandom by giving you, build Hogwarts out of Lego, build the Death Star and the Millennium Falcon out of Lego. And I have tech buddies with too much disposable income that are going out and buying every single one of these $200 Lego sets, which was unheard of 30 years ago, and have entire walls of shelves with all of these Lego figures constructed on them. And they're intricate as hell.
And that corporate synergy is impressive from a business standpoint.
Yeah.
But I'm talking more of like, just as a message that movie was sending, it made me kind of reassess what Lego was as a toy, as a company, what their philosophy was. And the people that made that movie understanding that that company could have a philosophy that was above just consume our product.
Yeah.
It was consume our product because it keeps you in touch with being a kid. It keeps you being creative. It keeps you doing all of these things that genuinely are part of the human experience. And it's supposed to connect you with other humans. You don't have to be even good at building them. And it tied into so many other things where I went, I literally sat there going, this is not only the greatest commercial ever made, but it's the greatest commercial ever made about the greatest toy ever made.
Yeah.
How do I not take Lego over Play-Doh? How do I not take Lego over Super Soaker? How do I not say Legos are not the greatest toys ever made?
Well, when you put it like that, damn. Yeah, Marshall, I mean just for context, I know you're really into figures and you're a big collector, so I understand. But man, the Lego and what it meant to millions upon millions of childhoods for the last 30 to 40 years is like, holy smokes.
Costanza just ended me.
Oh, yeah. Except when you step on one in the middle of the night. Listen, here, I've learned a hard lesson in the last 6 months. By the way, BW official Keiko has returned from her vacation and will be addressing the BWO universe shortly. I don't know if it'll be tonight, but it'll be this week. She has some things to say as we head into SummerSlam and All Out season.
Hopefully she didn't find any Legos in the middle of the night.
But I have learned that there is something worse than stepping on a Lego in the middle of the night in the pitch dark. It's a half-chewed bully stick or antler. If you have a large dog and you've ever given them an antler to chew on, and they've chewed on it and mauled it up, those are really sharp edges. And that sucks to step on at 3 a.m. when you're trying to be quiet and go down to get something to drink when the whole house is asleep.
You're talking at someone like they haven't actually stepped on this in the middle of the night.
Ow!
This is literally like an oversized caltrops.
That just
like the things that ninjas.
That just
ninjas
makes me want to go to the
ground.
hospital. That just looking at that thing.
It's got razor edges on it.
God! It just
Ziggy, come get your tool.
I'm glad we clarified that was a dog chew. That was it was very phallically shaped, I should say.
That's Well, that's just your
Okay, I
sick
can't be the
mind.
only one that saw that. It made certain areas very, very hurtful for a second. Like, oh,
That's an exploratory device there, Nick.
I guess. Hey,
we did have
Mr. Sean Clark
Yeah.
threw in 100 bits, said, love you guys, and everyone out there
Yeah.
listening in the chat just dropped in to say that. Sean Clark coming in, dropping the love. Thank you very much, Sean.
Thanks, brother.
Appreciate it, man. All right. Let's see. Patrick Kennedy said, or Marshall did have something. He said, I had a black lab that had Braun Strowman-sized shits, and stepping in that would burn your feet. Burn your feet?
Ugh.
The hell kind of poo's coming out of that damn black lab?
What did you feed this dog?
Stop feeding your dog acid. Just, oh God, that's a whole conversation right
God.
there. Anyway, we got off the rails. Next up, Patrick Kennedy says, hey guys, hope all is well in your homes and lives. My question this week is, since we are going to be getting a Queen of the Ring tournament, Nick picked 2 women from Raw and AEW each, Ian 2 from SmackDown and NXT.
Oh.
Who wins? Dice rolls are encouraged. Have a great week. Phenomenal Podfather. Soon to be new BWO champ or new booby champ out.
All right. Okay.
So
you got
how
2
is
women from Raw.
AEW involved in the Queen of the Ring tournament?
Shh.
Oh.
Just go with it. It's his question,
Okay.
Nick.
Those are easy picks.
Oh, okay. Well, I know you're picking them from
Pick
AEW.
2 women each from Raw and AEW. How do I not say Charlotte Flair and Rhea Ripley? I mean, it's about it.
Okay. SmackDown, I'll take Sasha Banks and Bianca Belair.
All right. AEW, I'll take Chris Statlander and Thunder Rosa.
Fair enough. I just realized Shotzi went to SmackDown. Damn it. All right, from NXT, I will take Io Shirai and I'll take Raquel Gonzalez. So we have to figure out who wins.
So I said
So let's
Charlotte,
have your-
Rhea.
Yep. You said Charlotte Rhea. You said Chris Statlander and Thunder Rosa.
Yeah.
Shocked. I thought you were going to take Britt Baker.
I did too, but there's
I-
reasons.
Oh, okay.
We'll talk about it tomorrow.
SmackDown, I picked Bianca Belair, Sasha Banks, and then I had Io Shirai, Raquel Gonzalez.
Blair, Sasha, Io, and Raquel.
Okay. All right. So let's start your first woman from Raw against my first woman from SmackDown. We'll just go to that. We'll go down the
versus
list that
Bianca
way.
Belair.
Ooh. There's a WrestleMania main event right there. Yeah, it's a hell of a way to start off the Queen of the Ring
All right.
tournament here.
Yep.
All right. 1, 2, 3. Bianca rolls a 15.
None other than Charlotte Flair critting with a natural 20.
Oh, for Christ's sake.
Because of course she effing does.
Because of course she does. Charlotte Flair goes over even in dice rolls. Dice rolls, ladies and gentlemen. Can't beat the Queen.
Charlotte's going to
Sorry,
get the new
Bianca.
Golden Shovel Award here one of these
God.
days.
Damn.
All right,
Gotta get
next
her a
up,
golden-
second
Golden
round,
20-sided dice.
Rhea Ripley versus Sasha Banks.
Ooh.
That's a
Another
spicy
WrestleMania main
meatball.
event. That's a spicy meatball.
All right.
All right. 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, go. 17.
I got a
Sasha
9.
Banks. Oh,
Rhea's
sorry.
out.
Sorry, Rhea.
Is this WWE controlling these dice?
Your downward trend continues.
Charlotte and Sasha.
4 horsewomen for life.
Yep.
All right. Next up, we're going to AEW versus NXT.
Chris Statlander
Nice.
versus Io Shirai, which put that match in my freaking eye hole.
My holes. 1, 2, 3, 16. Rolling strong over here today.
Ooh, 18. Ooh,
God damn
Chris Statlander. Taking out Io, the Empress of the Sky.
Wow.
Holy
Wow.
smokes. All right,
Wow.
next up,
All right.
Thunder Rosa versus Raquel Gonzalez.
Raquel
Yes,
Gonzalez.
please.
I'll watch that match.
God.
That match would be badass.
Yep, here we go.
Two badass Latinas from Texas, man. Hell yeah.
Anna's resigning
1,
from Team Nick. Don't do that. I need you, Anna.
come to the dark
Yeah.
side. Come to the dark side. 1, 2, 3. Only a 9.
Oh, and I edged you out with a
Raquel
10.
Gonzalez. Oh,
Oh, it was a close
a
match.
close one. It's a close one. They're both beaten up, battered. Ultimately, Thunder Rosa does take the win. Damn.
All right, so we're
My
doing
girls today.
Charlotte Flair versus Sasha Banks for the semis.
Oh, all right.
Here we go.
I'll do Sasha. 1, 2, 3. 14 for Sasha Banks.
11.
Oh,
Takes
Sasha,
out Charlotte.
Finally. Get out of here, Charlotte. Sasha is back.
Yep.
She's on The Mandalorian. What have you done, Charlotte?
Next
Your
up, we've
dad's on
got
bad commercials.
a match that we have yet to see yet that I'm very anxious to see. Chris Statlander versus Thunder Rosa.
Ooh.
You'll roll with
that could
Thunder?
actually happen. I'll roll for Thunder.
All right.
Yeah. Come on, Thunder. 1, 2, 3. Thunder shits the bed with a 4.
Chris didn't do much better. She got a 10, but she takes out Thunder
Hey,
Rosa.
that takes that one. Thunder Rosa just tripped on her shoelaces coming to the ring.
And our finals are Sasha Banks versus Chris Statlander.
Oh, that's a Queen of the Ring
Yeah, it
finals
is.
right there.
Yeah, it is.
I'm down with that. All right, I'll roll for Sasha. You roll for your girl Chris.
All right.
1,
Oop.
2.
Go ahead.
Keep it in your
I know,
hand.
it fell out. That's what she said.
Come on, man. You gotta work on your grip.
Yep.
1, 2, 3. A 9 again for Sasha Banks.
A 3.
Oh!
Chris shit the bed.
Oh, no.
She couldn't handle the boss. She got locked up in the bank statement. Sasha Banks is your queen of the ring. We will never escape the 4 horsewomen, you guys. Even when you
won't.
bring AEW into it.
Can't. Nope. Sorry.
Holy smokes.
Sasha will forevermore be booked strong.
That would be one of the most popular tournaments if they figured out how to do that. That would be those matches, like for reals, if they were able to pull that off.
Yeah.
Holy smokes. And Sasha winning would just blow up the entire crowd. That would be amazing.
That would be, yeah.
Whew.
I don't know over Chris Statlander. That means she'd be going in heel on that. But
well, I don't know.
hey, but she won. What you gonna do about it? She's the boss, baby.
She's the boss.
That's all it works.
Hey, Abe showed up, threw in 100 bits, said, just stopping by to say hello to all. Have a great week, everyone. I did have a quick question, if that's okay. Ian, which is worse, step on a Lego and see your soul leave your body? Because if the pain... Oh, step on a Lego and see your soul leave your body because of the pain, or never have avocado on raisin toast again. That's actually tuna fish on raisin toast.
Yeah. Avocado and raisin toast is weird.
Yeah. Oh, that's weird, but not tuna fish.
That's the difference. That's
Golf.
the difference. Yeah, that's.
Avocado toast is now eaten around the world. I don't hear anybody about eating tuna fish on raisin muffins.
What would be worse, stepping on a Lego, or I'll go with what he means.
Yeah.
Never having tuna fish on raisin muffins again. Never having tuna fish on raisin. I would step on a Lego every day on my way to the kitchen to get those raisin muffins with tuna fish on them. Gladly. And I would sit there with my foot in pain, happily munching away.
I would simply find something else to eat. Because you're volunteering to step on a Lego to eat tuna fish
on raisin muffins. Which you will do as well when Braun Strowman heads back to WWE.
Oh God, gagging the entire time.
Oh, I can't wait. That's the best part, ladies and gentlemen, will be when he goes, you know what, this isn't actually that bad.
Oh,
that'll be the best part.
I like English muffins.
Yeah.
I like the way that I make my own tuna salad. I
It's not tuna
don't know
salad,
if the
it's
two
tuna
of them going together.
It's not tuna salad. It's just tuna fish with
Straight
mayo.
out of a can.
That's it. Straight out of tuna fish out of a can with mayo. That's it.
No pepper, no pickle relish or none of that stuff?
No.
Oh, man. I'm going to show you some of my southern tricks for tuna salad.
Well, that's tuna salad is a different thing.
Oh, okay. All right.
This is just tuna fish. I'm not dressing up, not being fancy. All the fancy comes from the raisin muffins.
You see tuna out of a can with mayonnaise on a raisin muffin? That's even more disgusting. I thought you would at least put some relish or something in that shit. Jeez, how does this keep getting more disgusting?
The relish conflicts with the raisin. You can't put onions and raisins. I guess they kind of go well, but still, the bottom. I love tuna fish. I'll eat tuna fish with a fork out of the can.
I'll do that. Yeah.
Okay.
But nobody needs raisins involved
Then
in
I
that
add
conversation.
mayonnaise and it gets even better. And then you put raisins and cinnamon in a muffin and you put all of them together.
No. I hope I don't lose
Butter.
that one.
Little butter on you butter up on the
Thank you very much, Patrick. That was fun. I would love to see that tournament. That kind of stuff, like Mayan Classic, Cruiserweight Classic, all the Dusty's Classic, Dusty Cup, all those little tournaments. I absolutely love. It's my favorite. Some of my favorite stuff in G1. All that stuff is my favorites in wrestling. Love a good tournament. Next up, the two-time booby champ, Mr. Martin Welch.
Oh,
Says, hello, pod gents, and all phenomenal ladies, gents, and others. First things first, my wife got the job she went for. Hey! Congratulations.
hell yeah.
Congratulations, my friend. Secondly, all is well in sunny southern London. Hope your lives are as full of the joys of summer as they can be. First question is a food one. Let's say you knew a handsome, sweet-toothed, slightly chubby but still sexy as fuck English gent who wanted to try some American candies. What would you suggest for him to try?
Whoa, come on now.
What is a traditional? So do they have like our stuff? Or do they have Snickers? I mean, like Mars, I'm assuming is represented over there with their line of candy.
Yeah, Mars is over there a lot.
They have a lot of stuff over there that we don't have here.
Damn right, they got some incredible
I love going to the UK,
shit over there.
Going to Ireland and going to England for
crap.
Just for candy.
I mean, can you fight the great American Snickers bar?
It's hard. It's one of my favorite. That and Reese's
literally
are my
the greatest
favorite things
candy
in the
bar.
world.
Reese's does one. I think it's called a fast break.
Yeah, it's like a Kit Kat almost. Or what is the other one called? I can't remember.
I think it's called fast break, right? They do two. There's one with the pretzel in it, and screw the pretzel one. That's not it. It's the one where it's just it's chocolate and then the peanut butter and then like some nougat and a little wafer.
Yeah. Oh, they're so good.
That is, and it's this big, fat, poop-looking candy bar. It looks like a big long turd. It's the most delicious turd you'll ever put in your mouth.
It's amazing.
It
It tastes like a light, flaky, crispy Reese's peanut butter cup.
Yeah, only it's huge and it's big.
Yeah.
Yeah, Reese's peanut butter cups, and then whatchamacallit.
Oh yeah.
That's one of my favorites, and it's a little on the DL. Like not everyone has.
Yeah.
It. Whatchamacallits are incredible.
I'm a low key fan of Sour Patch Kids. Like I can go down on a bag of Sour Patch Kids.
Hello.
I'm trying to like.
What to that bag?
What's that?
Well, you can do what to that bag now?
I can get. I meant to say get down. I can get down on a bag of Sour Patch Kids.
Just clear.
Little Freudian slip there.
Actually,
I'm more familiar what they have that we don't than what we have that they don't. If that makes sense.
Well, C-Jenks makes a good point. And that European chocolate has to be the top of the mountain. Anything in the U.S. is a step down.
Totally. Swiss chocolate is
there's
no
totally
comparison.
right. Like one of the reasons why the British candies are typically better is the chocolate's better.
Yeah.
But the fillings. I ain't saying that the chocolate on that Reese's Fast Break is better, but the fillings. You got a sweet tooth, that'll hit all your sweet teeth. My goodness.
You know what I'm going to do,
gracious.
Martin?
And there's no coconut.
I wish I had included one in your booby prize gift from WrestleMania. Because we're Americans. Because America.
Oh, you have the yes. Oh God.
Hang on. Keep entertaining them for 10 seconds.
Go get it. It's not going to be hard to do because I know exactly what you're going for, sir. Nick is going to go get probably one of the most disgusting examples of what it means to be an American. And the fact that no matter what we have over here, no matter what it is, we've got to make it over the top and too much and too big. Go ahead and show it.
So, Martin, I'm going to send you, and maybe I'm going to force you to share it with your other UK brethren.
You got to share it. It's like a cake.
But because we're America, not only do we have giant Snickers.
It's the size of a baby.
It is literally the size of my arm. I'm not like, it's the size of, and I'm not small. Like that's a big ass candy bar. We also make these in giant Reese's cups. Normally you can only find them around the holidays, but you can find them in certain places. They make 2 ginormous, like 1 inch tall, metric system. That'd be about what, I don't know. 2 giant Reese's cups in this size of package as well.
The Snickers literally you're holding, which is the size of your forearm.
It is 1 pound.
It's Jesus Christ. It literally on the side says slice and share.
I will literally eat the whole thing.
Right.
It is, and
because
normally when they're
you're
broken
American.
up, you can feel them like little bars. It's not. It's 1 giant effing bar.
You're supposed to right. The only way to break, you have to get a knife.
You literally have to get a knife and cut
break it up. Oh my God, it's a cake.
Sheppy, thank you. Yes, the 1 pound Hershey's Kiss. That's the other one. But because America, we have to make everything huge.
Right. But again, like they were saying in the chat, like that's just crap chocolate.
Right. Hershey's chocolate is pretty good.
Man, it ain't Ghirardelli's or anything like that.
No. It's not Lindt or Ghirardelli or anything like that. I'm not trying to compare apples to oranges. But Hershey's chocolate is good stuff. But yeah. So that was the first question. I would love it if you can find them in the airports and the international terminals. A lot of the English candies and European candies, Kinder Eggs, or I don't remember how they pronounce it. Of course, Toblerone's everywhere now. It used to just be kind of exclusive, or it was easier to find in the UK and Europe. But yeah. Second is a wrestling question. If AEW were to do a King and Queen of the Ring, whom are they going to choose?
Well, I think you'd be right that Chris Statlander would be the Queen of the Ring. That seems to be like the level she's at right now.
Yeah, because I think Britt's busy, but Chris is sneaking her way into number 1 contendership pretty quickly.
It's like the stepping stone position, right? So that's where I think she would be. As far as,
but I feel like to them it would be the equivalent of MJF's ring. Like it's one of those things where they're not.
Yeah,
it's just it's a thing to have.
King of the Ring, though. Who do you think? I got a weird one.
Hangman.
Ethan.
That's a little weird.
Both of us picked a page. Right. we took a page from each other's book there. Right. Why do you pick Hangman over Ethan? Hangman's on his way to the title. The stepping stone is not needed.
And again, I think it's one of those accolades, the feather in the cap kind of accolades, not anything that's a title to be contended for in an ongoing basis. So I at some point is MJF going to have to put his pinky ring on the line, his diamond whatever, I can't remember what it was.
That they don't even mention that anymore.
The only reason we remember it is because he comes out and kisses it every time he comes his entrance, right?
Yeah.
So
that's the great thing is that having it just be there and then it doesn't have to be always a thing.
Right.
You can bring it back as a thing later.
You could always throw it in as a stake for. You know what? I believe in myself so much. I'm willing to put my Queen of the Ring status on the line. Right. Just something like that. They can volunteer it.
Like how they just took Nakamura just took Baron Corbin's crown.
Sure.
Right.
And you can build story around that kind of stuff.
You can change who's quote king.
Yeah.
But think of all the things that Ethan Page could do with King Page.
You
know, like I like the idea of it going on a heel.
Me too. I don't know why. For some reason, I was my head was going towards Lance Archer because I think he would just be crazy with it, something like that.
But a character like that, I don't know if it needs the king.
No,
thing.
But he's a monster.
You know what I mean?
He doesn't really need it. Yeah.
Yeah, he doesn't.
I don't know. I'm stick with Hangman. I think that's something that he would be really good with.
All right. Well, I'm going to stick with Ethan Page, so there you go.
Thirdly and finally, what is Andy Jessup smoking, thinking he can take my booby prize off me? If you haven't seen yet, folks, Andy Jessup has introduced a new gimmick in the Facebook discussion group. I'm not even going to try and describe it. It is brilliant.
Brilliant.
Please go and watch it. Come join us in the BWO group. Linktree.com/BWO if you haven't found that yet. Andy, I have a challenge for you. If I get the booby prize, you can't take part in the pick'ems for Survivor Series. Oh, we've got a real gauntlet getting thrown down here, Ian, because he also goes on to say, if you win the booby prize, I can't take part in Survivor Series.
Wow.
This is real right now, guys.
We're getting down like a booby battle here.
Yeah. Oh, wow.
Hello.
He throws it down and says, "Are you man enough to accept my challenge, Andy?"
Whoa.
New gimmick and all. Your response to Martin's challenge is required here. So I guess we'll have to wait till next week to find out. Tune in next week, folks. We're out of time. We gotta go.
Actually, no. I found he actually has already responded. He says a brief statement. Ladies and gentlemen, on the Busted Wide Open universe, invading friendos, Patreons, Twitch, and YouTube viewers, I would first like to refute the unsubstantiated claim and smear campaign started by the opposition that I am smoking anything. These claims, of course, are made by Mr. Martin G. Welch. I ask you, is this the mind of a man you want as booby champ? Secondly, the party of Make Andy Suck Again has heard and listened to you, the people. We humbly and graciously accept the challenge of Mr. Martin G. Welch, providing he also agrees to these terms. Thank you for your time.
Damn.
So gauntlet thrown, gauntlet accepted.
So we now have a side battle for Booby Champ. The loser cannot participate in the BWO Pick'ems Challenge for Survivor Series this fall.
Two titans of the lower half of the Pick'ems are fighting for who's the bottom. I mean, Martin is a 2-time booby champ.
And if you think about it,
called a shot on one of them too.
You really have to. It's almost the invert. It's almost like watching Tenet. You almost have to think in the reverse when you're making your picks, because you want to lose. For those of us who haven't
seen Tenet, we have no freaking clue what you're talking about right now.
I mean, it'll take you about 4 times to understand what's going on in the movie, but it's a Christopher Nolan movie, and that's par for the course.
That's kind of how it works.
Yeah. He just assumes everybody is a rocket scientist in the audience. But that's Nolan. But yeah, this is interesting because you have to think as much about this as you do about who's going to win. So you have to take the inverse of who you think is going to win the matches. So it means that you have to be just as good at picking.
Yep.
Who's going to lose? Yep. We'll see. Come SummerSlam, folks. 1 month away. Hey, if you'd like to get in on those pick'ems, all you got to be in is the $5 tier over at patreon.com/BWO, and you can submit them. I'm getting ready to start working on the forms in the next couple of weeks. So,
dun, 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 dun.
Woo! Big turnout for WrestleMania this year. Let's see if we can do it again for SummerSlam. Let's see. Thank you very much, Martin, and well done on the gauntlet. Next up, our latest patron, C. Jinx, Mr. Chris Jenkins, says, "Hey, Ian and Nick, I was thinking of taking a camping trip, and I wondered who you would want from pro wrestling on a camping trip with you. I would take Orange Cassidy, R-Truth, Stone Cold, and Daniel Bryan. Cassidy would trick an energetic Truth into setting up all the camping stuff without lifting so much as a lackadaisical thumb. Stone Cold would constantly be giving everyone stunners, including little Jimmy, because he doesn't trust anyone, but we would never run out of beer. Daniel is there strictly for cleanup and lectures on the environment. Here's a tip. Maybe don't bring the Brothers of Destruction around a campfire. Good luck."
I was just going to say, I'll take Kane. He lit my fire for me. Daniel Bryan, I would never bring on a camping trip because none of us would have any fun whatsoever.
No. It would just be stories about, hey, you know how that pine tree was made over there?
You stepped on that blade of grass. What are you doing? You know how long that grass is? Come on, man. What are you...
So are we matching him where we're picking 4 people? Or is it just a matter of who you would take and why?
Let's each pick 2. We'll try and get the BWO 4 to match the Chris Jenkins 4. I'm gonna bring Killian Dane.
Why?
In case it gets cold at night, I can always snuggle into his back hair.
Whoa. It's like a tauntaun. You just
it's like
snuggle up into him.
Never get cold.
Oh God, that visual is
Your
just
turn.
disgusting. And like overnight, the hair just like starts to envelop you, and you're caught up in it the next morning. You can't get out
in the morning.
And I have to come over and cut you out with a chainsaw or like like a weed eater. I have to just cut you out.
Weed whacker to get me out of Killian Dane's hair in the morning.
It's like possessed vines. They just hold on.
But I'll be warm all night, so it's okay.
I guess. Who am I taking camping?
Yeah. Come on.
Rusev. Miro. Excuse me.
case you need to fight a bear? Why?
Yeah, because there's gonna be bears. You read my mind exactly.
I knew it.
It's your Holy Roller. What's her name? Courtney LaPlante. I wrestled a bear once. That's Miro. That should be his tagline. Her old band.
Wow.
All right. Who else are you taking?
Who
are you gonna need besides Killian Dane? I was gonna say.
Well, you took my idea. Like I was like, well, I was gonna be worried about bears. So
I was gonna say
take
Brutus
Drake Maverick.
Brutus the Beefcake, so we can cut you out of the
Cut
hair.
me out more. There you go. It's not a bad idea, actually. I was gonna say Drake Maverick, so I can just feed him to the bears and run away, but that'd be mean.
Don't do that to
That'd be
Drake.
mean. I know. Just saying.
And you'd have to listen to that freaking song all night.
What's wrong with that song?
Absolutely nothing.
Thank you. Oh, geez. Who else would we? Oh,
No one is attractive while camping, Anna.
That is 100% true.
There's not one thing attractive about camping.
No.
You need at least one hot person. No. Can they start a fire? Do they have rope? Those are the two things I need to know.
It's a survival. You're in the wilderness. Humans against Mother Nature. You need protection. Oh, jeez. Who do I take camping? Amos? Because he could, get fruit out of trees for us.
Are you,
Forever
then
hungry.
you have to be camping in southern Florida. Well, or I guess California, unless you're picking almonds and grapes.
You could survive on almonds.
But you don't need a 7'4" guy to pick off of a grapevine.
Yeah, that's a good point. Oh, jeez. Or you just load him up. You load him up with all your bags. You can carry everyone's bags.
Yeah, all right.
Big and strong. Yeah, I'm taking Killian Dane and Amos. He's like Amos, like a Swiss Army knife. You never know what you can use him with. I mean, you can find all kinds of things to use him for.
This one's gonna blow your mind.
Uh-oh.
Baron Corbin. Because that man can cook a steak.
Oh,
have you seen his YouTube channel?
Good point. You make a damn good. That man knows his way.
Can you
around
imagine
a steak.
Baron Corbin with a cast iron skillet making steak and eggs every morning?
Yeah, but you know who else knows his way around a skillet is Otis.
That's true.
You take Otis, you take Baron Corbin.
Otis. Baron Corbin. Excuse me.
You do? Okay,
Yeah.
all right. Yeah, he gets more expensive steaks. Otis just gets the cheap stuff from
He's
the local
got the
supermarket.
pot and he's doing the sous vide and he's got all the fancy shit. Yeah. Baron Corbin.
No, Baron Corbin's cooking stuff.
We're eating Wagyu beef and
Woo!
Otis
That
is
no
just eating
joke.
raw porterhouses over in the corner.
He doesn't even season it. He's just like, it's just meat
Right.
on the grill. Good point.
Yeah.
All right, that's Nick. You beat me. Good
A
point.
little bit of 4D chess there.
Anna's correct. Shayna Baszler as well. Also knows her way around a grill.
I'm trying to think who would be good at some of the skills of chopping down firewood or keeping the fire going. We can't use the Brothers of Destruction, but we need somebody to keep the fire going. He said leave the Brothers of Destruction out, but he didn't say anything about the Fiend.
That's true.
He could bring the Hellfire.
But Randy Orton's the one who lights the fires around here. Let's be clear.
That's a fair point. Yeah.
Because he's a fire starter, twisted fire starter. He's the one you hated. Filth infatuate. All right, there you go. That's who we're taking on our camping trip with us. That's
Jay threw in
Killian Dane, Amos, Baron Corbin, and who else did you take? Yeah, Miro.
Miro, yes.
That's a lot of testosterone on this trip.
Yeah, that's a vlog. I would want to vlog that. That would get 1 million hits on YouTube.
Jesus Christ. Can you imagine the amount of shitting in the woods that would be going on?
Oh, God. Jay threw $2 in the super chat over on YouTube. Thank you, sir. Said, so does Asuka. She is a surprising good cook. I've only ever really seen her eat cup of noodles. But maybe I haven't seen her cook anything.
Asuka? She's a hell of a cook.
No? Good to know. Good to know.
But I don't know if most of the stuff's not really camping food. That's kind of more my issue.
Thank you very much, Chris. Good question, man. That was fun. Let's see. Next up, Billy Stickler says, guys, hope all is well. I have a favor to ask. Would you call the cops? Because wrestling is killing it. I know it sounds strange, but hear me out. Charges include Jay freaking White showing up in Impact, spoiler alert, seemingly repairing the long-broken relationship between the two companies, and straight up cutting some awesome promos and recruiting a hot new prospect into Bullet Club.
Hot.
Chris Bay.
Hot.
You guys, if you've been listening, you know that's probably my top prospect of all wrestlers.
Nick is high on that.
I'm very big on Chris Bay. While I could care less, the hype is real that CM Punk is making a return. Lest we forget, Daniel Bryan is also rumored to have found a promotion. Big E is on his way to a world championship. Bobby Lashley is having a championship reign we haven't seen from a full-time performer in years. Matt Riddle, who I just didn't get for the longest time, is a prominent player on the most popular wrestling show in history, and I'm loving it. He's also involved with Randy Orton, who, after 20 years, has found new life and is on a terrific run for the last 18 months. New Japan is set for a refresh with the G1 starting soon. Jay White needs to win this year. We finally get the dream match of Seth Rollins versus Edge in less than a month. The feud should be excellent, and the match is going to be baller. And most of all, we have two of the best stories wrestling has told in like 20 years at the same time in two different promotions. The only reason I watch AEW is the Hangman Page story. Cowboy shit is over, and it's working. Huge star is set to be made when he kicks out of the One-Wing Angel. And, of course, Roman Reigns. He went from polarizing and divisive to the biggest star in wrestling and the top guy on the top-rated show in the world. He has now confirmed he doesn't like missionary position, but he does like having banger matches.
Well, if you had that many, if you had as many kids as he has, you'd probably get sick of it too.
Exactly. I lost my spot. He now may confirmed he doesn't like but he does like having banger matches, including a classic WrestleMania main event and a Daniel Bryan match a month prior that was magnificent and my top match of the year so far. All on his way to a match with The Rock, who is apparently penciled in for a return at Survivor Series this year. Oh, and he's also set for a SummerSlam main event with John Cena, who is massively over right now. Just saying, guys, wrestling is killing it, and it's damn criminal. Bold prediction. Mr. Never Give Up John Cena will tap out to the guillotine in this match. Interesting. Very specific as well. I like that. Anyways, guys, hope you can help me out with that. Peace, love, and fried poultry for all. P.S. Nick, dude, I'm with you on the anime. Can't do it. It doesn't work for me, so I get it. And Ian, chances of Horrorpalooza this year. If it doesn't happen, 100%. I totally get it. But if it does, I'll be patiently waiting for the episodes and writing down all the recommendations yet again. Regardless, I know we will be watching Halloween 3 soon enough, as it's a seasonal must.
You know it, baby. I'm actually feeling kind of Halloweeny today, actually.
Yeah, you got a little orange vibe going on over there.
A little orange vibe, little hair.
That was a lot to take in, and Billy, the perspective on that is fantastic. Just look, it's easy for us to come on the show here with you guys and pick apart the individual nitpicky pieces of each match and each story about a show and do that multiple times a week. If you zoom out 30, 50,000 feet and you look down at what we've been gifted with across the entire landscape of professional wrestling over the last couple of years, even amidst a pandemic, it's pretty phenomenal.
It is.
It's pretty damn special. And yes, it doesn't have the viewership numbers to back it up like 2000, where you're getting 6 to 9 million people watching a Raw because Stone Cold and The Rock. But I mean, damn, the breadth and the things that are happening right now this year, it's absolutely fantastic. So I applaud this. Thank you for letting me read that out. Thank you for writing all that up. It really does shed some perspective on what's going on in the world right now. So thank you, sir. Did I hear you confirm we are getting a Halloween Horrorpalooza season this year, Sir Ian Dangerous?
100%.
100%. Yes. There you go, Billy. Let's see. Next up, Mr. Sheppy. Brad Shepard says, hello, BWO fam. I hope everyone is having a glorious and wonderful night. Sir Ian and Nick, the Olympics are upon us and in full swing. I love the Olympics as a time of competition, sportsmanship, and camaraderie around the world. I love being able to sit back and watch sports and events that I do not normally get to watch and observe, such as fencing, handball, water polo, and archery. What Olympic sport do you gentlemen find as your guilty pleasure?
Curling. 100% curling. I know that's like kind of the haha ironic one, but like when that's on TV,
It's fascinating.
at the bar, shit stops.
Yeah.
Like everyone's just like we all just are like it's just shuffleboard. Shuffleboard's one of my favorite like activities. If I'm in a bar with shuffleboard, you know my ass is on that shuffleboard. I am a shuffleboard freak. So I'm sorry, shuffleboard on ice with gigantic pucks and people throwing each other and sweepers.
Yeah.
People furiously sweeping the ice.
And the
Oh my God, I'm so
over theatrical throwers that like slide down the ice on a knee when they've got their
Oh,
arm
I
out
love
like
it.
and kind of posing. If I love people doing inhuman feats of I've always been a fan of the weightlifting that happens at the Olympics.
Uh-huh.
I don't know that we're doing that. I didn't see that this year. I don't know if they're doing the powerlifting stuff. I've always been a fan of the gymnastics.
Yep.
Especially some of the stuff that the men do. Like I think a lot of people get wrapped up in the women's gymnastics and sleep on the men's gymnastics. But Jesus Christ, the physical condition that those athletes are in.
Oh, it's insane.
God. And funny enough, I've
Changes their whole life, by the way.
I've always had an
rest of their
appreciation
life.
for figure skating. I know it's the Winter Olympics, but I've always had an appreciation for the dance, for the
That's
skill.
Olympics. He just asked about Olympics, man. Curling isn't Summer Olympics.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You can say whatever you want.
Yeah, the half pipe. Like I was an X Games guy. I was big into X Games.
Sure. Yeah.
I loved the
It's
snowboard
weird
half
for me
pipe
to
and all that.
see stuff that was X Games coming up now at the Olympics. It's just
We got
weird.
skateboarding now in the Olympics.
Skateboarding? Like, what?
Happy to see softball.
We
get a
haven't
spot.
gotten to. Do we have snowboarding is Olympics now, right? It's in the Olympics now too.
I think it's the Winter Olympics.
Yeah. Well, obviously.
Right.
God.
Thank you very much, Sheppy. Definitely, I'd have to say that probably guilty pleasure is the gymnastics one. It's always the first one I go looking for.
I just want to point out a little fun thing that's as a side note here. There's a whole F, Marry, Kill thing going on over in chat.
What?
JB, sometime host of the show here, personality from the show here. She's over there. She has confirmed that she would if she was given that choice, she would F Orton, marry Matt Riddle, and kill Baron Corbin. That sounds about right.
What do you got against Corbin? He's so down and out right now. Are you doing it to
that's
put him
one
out
more
of his
thing.
misery?
She's one more rung that he's hitting on his ladder, falling down every step of the way.
Oh God. Yeah, I don't want to partake in those festivities. You guys knock yourselves out in chat. Have fun. I'm stepping away from that one. Let's see. Oh, Sheppy also posted a second question here. This past weekend, I watched the new Netflix He-Man and Masters of the Universe show. I must say I was extremely pleased with it, and I can't wait for part 2. That's right, it was only 5 episodes. As a child of the 80s, of course, I grew up on He-Man, G.I. Joe, Transformers, Robotech, Mask, Centurions, Bionic 6, and Flash Gordon. What, pray tell, were your favorite cartoons that you grew up on? It's easy for me.
Excuse me. Sorry, she was killing Cole, not Corbin.
Oh,
my bad.
Yeah, Cole can eat it.
Adam Cole.
Yeah, it's
Adam Cole.
Yeah, I'm fine.
Oh, wow.
I'm fine with that.
Oh, okay.
That was easy for me, Sheppy.
Corbin would have been that spot too.
G.I. Joe is definitely the cartoon that I raced home from school to watch at 3:30 or 4 o'clock whenever it was on. He-Man was in there somewhere, but for me it was Saturday morning cartoons and Muppet Babies. Like there was G.I. Joe and Muppet Babies were I think the ones that I went crazy for. About the time Rugrats and Animaniacs started coming out, I started getting into teenage, upper high school years and too cool for school to watch cartoons kind of stuff. But it's one of those that I've wanted to always go back and like start at the beginning of like Animaniacs and watch through all of that, because everything I've heard about it is that it's genius stuff.
It is. Oh, it's brilliant.
Yeah.
Animaniacs was brilliant. Absolutely brilliant. Favorite cartoons? Thundercats.
Yeah.
Like you said, Thundercats was goddamn genius, especially you watch the beginning, the early ones. Anything Rankin Bass, automatically, I'm in. He-Man, Transformers, big time Transformers.
Yeah.
And then Robotech, and then it was just off to the races for Japanese stuff. So.
Yep. Thank you very much, Sheppy. There you go.
Thank you.
Next up, the Mullet King himself, Mr. Brandon Monroe, says, "Hey, great ones. As I am the Mullet King, I have decided to start a last mullet standing tournament for wrestlers past and present. So in the next couple days, I will put up a post in the discussion group for competitors in this tournament. The first 30 comments will be entered unless one is repeated. Sir Ian and Nick, you get the honor of choosing the first 2 competitors in this tournament. And each week, accompanied with a question, I will give you 2 a round for you two to use the dice to decide who goes through. No question today, just hyping everyone up for this tournament. So, folks, linktree.com/BWO. Get into the Facebook discussion group if you'd like to participate in the last mullet standing tournament hosted by the Mullet King, self-proclaimed Mullet King, Brandon Monroe. And he does have
we've seen his mullet.
Fabulous
it's
mullet.
It's pretty kingly.
Yeah, it is.
It's pretty kingly. Not gonna lie.
There's a level of royalty to it for sure.
Mm-hmm.
All right, so there you go, guys. We get the pick of the first. Are we picking those now? I think we're picking those now.
What?
Sir Ian and Nick, you get the honor of choosing the first 2 competitors in this tournament. And each week, accompanied with a question, I'll give you 2 a round for you two to use the dice to decide who goes through. Okay, so who is your...
No. He's going to put up a post in the discussion group for the competitors, then we'll pick before... Well, the competitors haven't been picked yet.
Okay.
When they're picked, then we'll choose before next week, and then we'll go next week.
Okay.
Yeah.
Fair enough.
Mm-hmm.
Looking forward to it, Brandon. That sounds fun. Next up, Jay Reyes over in the YouTube chat. What's up, man? Says, "Hey, guys, how's it going? Ian, I know that you are Marvel and can't stand DC.
Correct.
Nick seems to be more of the guy that likes them both, as am I. I like both companies equally. I do slant, to be completely fair, I do slant a little bit towards DC from a comics perspective. I am definitely a Superman, Batman, Justice League fanboy. Yeah. Though I don't mind saying Marvel has the better cinematic universe as far as live action goes. 100% agree. That's not even a question.
That's not even a question.
The Ultimate Edition of Batman vs. Superman grows on me every time I watch it, but it's nothing compared to 20 films in 10 years.
That have all, for the most part, been home runs.
Yeah.
With a couple of at bat, there's a couple of ground rule doubles.
Yeah. I get your argument, Ian, about not liking Superman and Batman, though I don't agree with them. Here's why. The common theory is that Superman is the embodiment of perfect goody-goody, do-no-wrong, godlike being, and Batman is the depressed emo billionaire. Well, allow me to present to you the argument of Injustice, for example. There are others, but I will stick with Injustice for now.
Injustice is like it's a what-if universe.
Yeah, it's a weird
alternate
multiverse
universe.
arc. Yeah.
You're right, where they realize, hold on a second, before you get the rest of his comment here, he's gonna use Injustice as the example of why that's not the case. It's literally, that exists because Superman is a goody-goody, do-no-wrong, godlike being, and Batman is an emo billionaire who's crying about his family all the time. So because that's the way that it actually is, they had to create an alternate universe where it wasn't the case so that they could be interesting. Please continue.
He says, Superman has a darker edge due to the Joker causing Superman to accidentally kill Lois and their unborn baby. That's not entirely true. I thought she hooked up with Bruce because they thought Superman was dead. Superman came back, fought Batman, killed Lois.
Killed the Joker too.
And the Joker. Yeah, I'm trying to remember that whole arc. It's been a minute.
I thought Joker killed Lois in Injustice, and then Superman killed Joker in Revenge. Was how I recall it.
You might be right.
Anyway,
I'd have to go dig.
But what do I know? I don't like DC.
Right.
I only like Marvel. Sorry, go ahead.
This prompts Superman to take a no-nonsense attitude towards evil, even if he has to kill. Batman is, of course, against this, knowing that Batman saw both his parents murdered in front of him as a little kid, which has him go to Japan, train to be a ninja and weapons expert. He isn't as emo as people think. He does have fun. Hell, he has slept with a lot of women. He just won't bring them home to the Batcave. Nick, I want you to argue the merits of DC, both Batman, Superman and Batman, also the Rogues Gallery and villains. Ian, of course, you are against it, so also argue in favor of the Marvel Rogues Gallery. I mean, that's not fair. I mean, there's like 4, maybe 5 significant superheroes in DC universe. I mean, you could get some of the stretch ones, but I mean,
and then there's like a billion other half-assed ones that no one cares about.
Right.
Do you ever remember Kingdom Come? Remember that one?
Remind me.
The painted one by Alex Ross. Brilliant.
No,
probably one of the best.
I don't think I ever got that one.
Beautiful. I highly recommend anyone who hasn't read it. Kingdom Come is amazing. It's a great another alternate universe one where Superman's a little bit more edgy. Batman's a little darker and everything, but they're also all old. So it's kind of like it's like the best of Injustice with the best of Dark Knight Returns. And it's painted. It's beautifully painted. Very old school 50s kind of style. By Alex Ross. And it's awesome. It's great. But what's hilarious about it is you've got the main DC characters, Wonder Woman, Batman, Superman, Green Lantern, etc. And they're most of kind of the main stuff, but there's all these other characters he throws in there in the background. I'll be goddamn you can recognize anything. He paints so many people in the background, and they're all actual real DC characters or extrapolations of them. But no one gives a crap about them. They don't matter. They're not even real characters. I mean, I still remember the Justice League, the cover that the Justice League where it had like all these Justice League members, and it's just dozens and dozens of them. And I'm like, who cares who any of these people are?
Yeah.
At least in the Avengers, when it was over bloated and everything, there was still a bunch of other comics in Marvel where all of the characters were really awesome main characters, or could become awesome main characters, like the case of Doctor Strange and Iron Man. Iron Man was no one read Iron Man until the movie came out.
That's not true.
Since the 70s.
Yeah.
Since or I guess
run in the 90s, I believe too.
Was the 80s or 90s where he had no, I think it was the 80s where he had the drunken thing. But the bottom line is that, you know, there are more interesting individual characters in Marvel, and there's more superheroes. There's more like characters in DC, but they're not interesting.
Yeah.
Because everyone in DC tends to be so overpowered, and their powers make, for the most part, I would argue, less sense. They're just like, they have lasers. Because they're aliens. You're right. But they're from the negative dimension. At least there's like some half-assed attempt in Marvel of keeping it like science-based. Oh, you got bitten by a radioactive spider. They're a mutant. They have a mutant gene that allows them to grow bone spurs out of their arms, right? But no, please, Nick. Come back at me. Tell me why DC's 4 characters are better than all of the great characters in Marvel.
The only argument I have is the villains. DC shits on Marvel's villains. That's really
okay.
I mean, if I'm going back through the 90s,
Dr. Doom.
It was more than Doom for the Fantastic Four. And I was gonna say Fantastic Four was one of the, like, as much as I adore and have kind of a childhood adoration of Superman, Batman, Wonder Woman, Flash, Lanterns, excuse me. I found myself reading more Marvel stuff. Even though I have the fandoms there, I enjoyed reading I enjoyed the books from Marvel more.
So hold on. The Rogues Gallery of DC, you're saying, is better than the Rogues Gallery of Marvel.
I'd have to really go through and like one by one that, but that's the only thing I can come up with in a direct comparison.
I would come back at that by saying Marvel just hasn't really nailed a lot of the villains in the movies. But on paper, Jesus Christ, they've got so many good villains. They don't have anything like the Joker. Joker's top tier for sure.
Sure.
I'd say Dr. Doom is the closest thing,
Darkseid.
but in a very different way.
I mean, Darkseid is our Thanos.
Darkseid is a Thanos ripoff.
Yeah.
Like it straight up was a Thanos ripoff. Kirby was took it with him when he went to DC. Excuse me. But if you like break down a lot of the actual bad guys in Marvel, there's so many cool bad guys. There's so many cool bad guys with interesting stories.
Yeah.
And they just haven't done them very well in the movies yet. They've gotten Loki and Thanos. Those are the only ones they've gotten right. I can't really think of any other bad guys they've really nailed in the Marvel movies. But
Lex Luthor.
Yeah. Lex Luthor. But look at Spider-Man. Spider-Man's Rogues Gallery is no joke.
Oh, no kidding. Yeah. I mean, Spider-Man's alone is right there with Batman. I mean, you want to talk about the Batman Rogues Gallery or the DC Rogues Gallery. Spider-Man's alone.
Spider-Man's got Venom, Carnage, Kraven,
Doc Ock.
the Lizard, Doc Ock, Sandman, Electro. I mean, and that's just the big ones.
Goblins. Hobgoblin.
The goblins.
All the different goblin iterations.
Exactly. So
Spider-Man's is right there with Batman's as far as like Rogues Gallery.
Yeah.
It's tough.
What does Superman have? Bizarro?
Lex Luthor.
That's it.
That's about it.
And Darkseid, but again, Darkseid ripoff of Thanos. Cool, very cool one. Don't get me wrong.
Frankly, Darkseid manifested more in the Wonder Woman universe, I think, than the cosmic universe than anything.
Right. Anyway, we're getting
we're
Jay,
down that rabbit hole. We need to bring
us?
Andy Nelson into that conversation. Jesus Christ.
Right.
He can take the chair in my spot.
This is supposed to be a wrestling show.
If you guys are interested in comics and exploring more, there's a great app out there that has digital versions of all books called Comixology. Get it on iPad, get it on PC and Mac. It's for a subscription. You can subscribe to any of them, almost like an e-reader, but it's very beautiful, high-resolution versions of the books. Highly recommend it. Thank you, Jay. Let's see. Next up, Kyle Cotton says, getting to see the battle riot this last weekend with Cesar Duran, formerly Dario Cueto.
Yes.
Brought me chills with how fans received him in Philadelphia. And Philly's just a good town to watch wrestling in. And how he hadn't missed a beat. However, it got me thinking, why is it, do you think, a strong authority figure enhances a show experience to a point they almost become a selling point for them people themselves? And why is it such a rarity to find such strong authority figures like Eric Bischoff, Dario Cueto, Teddy Long, and William Regal? Do you think AEW could use an authority figure to keep the show consistent tonally throughout? And who would you ideally want in that role? Let's pause there for a second before we talk about anime stuff.
Okay. Why do you think it is, Nick? Why do you think a strong authority figure ties together a product the way that the guys he mentioned?
Because
oftentimes
they are either in alignment or against. Most times they are in alignment with the WWE universe. I think that's why it's worked in WWE. I think a lot of times.
What?
I think they're either for or against. So it gives the audience something else to cheer for. You can also build story around it so that to get people to cheer or boo certain fans based on favoritism from the authority figure. So, I mean, I
would actually argue more
there's
often
ways
than not
that you can lever an authority figure that to bait the audience into cheering or booing. And I think that's something that's missing. We've had that forever. We had Mr. McMahon for so long. We had Bischoff. We had Johnny Ace. We had Teddy Long. We had a string of general managers and commissioners through the course of the years in WWE.
Sergeant Slaughter.
Mick
Foley. Kurt Angle.
So all of these guys were there to bait the audience, either as faces or heels. And I feel like
I would change the word.
That's missing.
I would change the word bait.
Okay.
I would change the word bait. I'd see them more as ringmasters.
Sure.
Right? When you go to a circus, who's running the show? Who's kind of pulling the strings and they're making everything happen?
Yeah.
Right? That's what ideally an authority figure should be. I think a lot of times WWE doesn't use authority figures well enough. They become more MCs as opposed to ringmasters.
And here for the next match is so-and-so. Okay, but why?
Like this week on Raw where it was just, Adam Pearce and Sonya Deville kind of lamely come out and go, we see that you're all in the ring. That must mean you all want a match. So we will book those matches. There are your matches. And it's not, there's no purpose behind it. There's no excitement to it. Like Regal has done a really good job of making it feel organic why he makes certain matches, why he doesn't make certain matches. Dario Cueto obviously was much more of the ringmaster role, where he was literally there in an office and he was making matches to satisfy the bloodthirsty audience, right? There was a story purpose behind him. And so as a character, it's a fulcrum around which all the other story elements can rotate, and it keeps everything moving and it keeps everything dynamic to have that fulcrum character driving everything. And that's, I think, how it's best used when it's a conductor or a ringmaster. And even like a Bischoff and a Mr. McMahon character were more like that Dario Cueto kind of mold, or vice versa. He was like those kinds of characters where they were also involved in the storylines directly, and their motivations were apparent by what was happening. You know, that you could see why they were doing what they were doing based on the things that were going on in the product. Stone Cold pissed him off, so he's going to make this match, right?
Just to make Stone
Bischoff,
Cold mad. Just to get in his goat,
off the
right?
NWO, so Bischoff's going to do this to them, you know. So it's, he said it. Could AEW use an authority figure to keep the show consistent tonally? They can bring a consistency to a show, right? They can level everything off. Everything can work around them when written correctly. And does AEW need it? The way it is now, not really, because they do a good job of having the announcers make it feel like a show that knows what's coming next. There's very rarely matches made on the spot, and you go, where did that come from? Right? What was Raw going to do this week if Rhea Ripley had not confronted Charlotte Flair and Nikki Cross in that ring? Did they not have a main event? It's one of the biggest
something with Lashley and
nuts.
Somebody else.
Sure,
but again, that's the same tropey shit.
But then why wouldn't Lashley have some, like, the main event slot should be more money? It's why everyone wants to be in the main event slot, right? Should be getting more money from that. Wouldn't Lashley then be mad if he got his spot shunted out of the way and he was put down lower on the card?
You're making too much sense for WWE right now.
That's my point, though. That's my point, is that authority figures should be the ones who keep all that rolling and make it make sense. Instead, what's happening in WWE right now is they're making matches, but it makes no sense for them to make matches in the context that they're doing.
Yeah.
Whereas AEW doesn't need to do that because we know that the show is set. When we come into the show, all the matches are set. And the announcers can say, we've got this, 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 and this. We don't need to have an authority figure regulating. Tony Khan is there. People mention him. But it's like a sub-Jack Tunney thing where you know that he's doing something, but he's not the fulcrum of the show. He's not the star of the show.
And everybody's got a manager or representation or a spokesperson,
right?
Being that bullhorn.
The show is the main point.
Yeah.
Right. The having all these matches, having the other plot is the point. And it is very easy to have an authority figure become the center plot of the show. What's happened when we've had authority figures become more than, I'm just going to make this match, I'm just going to make this match. All of a sudden, Vince McMahon is winning Royal Rumbles and championships.
Right.
All of a sudden, Eric Bischoff is winning championships. And that's what it spun to the negative conclusion.
Yeah. Yeah. It's interesting to see how wrestling has developed over the decades and how we've gotten to this point. But I don't think AEW is. I think if they had less managers, less factions, yeah, but they do not suffer from a lack of narrative that WWE does. I agree completely. Yeah. He also says, on a side note, Nick, I saw you got a hold of Outlaw Star. How far into it have you gotten, and have you enjoyed it so far, considering this is the show that arguably Joss Whedon stole the idea for Firefly from? I've not started it yet. I've picked it up off of, I think Sheppy recommended it, and I've yet to start watching it. I'm trying, guys, but it's taking a lot of effort. I haven't even made it all the way through Black Widow yet, and I'm crazy about the Marvel Cinematic Universe. I'm trying to get there. But time is very rare for me. Free time is rare these days. So I'll give it a shot. Keep you posted. Let's see. And thank you, Kyle. Sean Clark, who dropped 100 bits earlier, saying hi to everybody, says, hello, gentlemen, and phenomenal, and always reminds me very nicely about to get audio up for patrons. Thank you for that, Sean.
Yeah.
Hello, gentlemen and phenomenal ones. I hope this message finds you doing well. I know something doing well is tough. I know sometimes doing well is tough. Sometimes all you can do is hang on. Breathe, get through that moment, that hour, that day, one small step at a time. The HOPE acronym, Hold on Pain Ends. That's deep. Okay. Just want to hear both your dream matches for Punk and Bryan Danielson with all doors open. Spread some love, tackle today, and as always, make the best of what's around. Thank you, Mr. Mop Man. Appreciate it, sir.
Thank you, dude. All right, give me top three. Give me your top 3 Punk matches.
Are we staying in AEW?
No,
I guess he says all doors open.
All doors open.
Oof.
Top 3 CM Punk matches.
Good strikers.
I mean, also psychology, stories, you
know. Punk versus Kenta in a go-to-sleep match.
I think they still got real life heat, by the way.
Probably.
Yeah, it's a match for who gets to use go to sleep.
Well, neither of them can. Now what do they do?
Oh, I see. In the match, neither of them can use it.
Right.
But whoever wins the match is the only person who gets to use it going forward.
I like that.
There you go. There's a step. All right. So you have Kenta. Who else do you have?
And that was just really a joke riff. I'd like to see the two of them face each other. I think that's one that a lot of people are talking about.
That's fair. That's
Punk
fair. Okay, so
American Dragon Bryan Danielson. Hell yes.
All right. So you got Punk versus Kenta, Punk versus Danielson, and who's your third?
I kind of want him to beat the shit out of Cody Rhodes. Not gonna lie. I think he could come in and put Cody in his place.
All right.
MJF tried, but I think Punk is one of those that he's got history with. A little bit, not much, but a little bit.
Mm-hmm.
Granted, it was like Stardust and all that shit. But I think there's something they could build there with Cody. With a heel Punk.
For me, CM Punk versus Jay White. CM Punk versus Malachi Black. And CM Punk. Oh, shit, I had the third one. It was Jay White, Malachi Black, and why am I spacing it? Wasn't Sami Callihan. I had it in my mind. And I just
Let's keep in mind, guys, Punk's 10 years older at this point. It was 2013,
yeah, well,
right? Pipe bomb.
That's why I'm going more for psychology. Like you've got Jay White, and Malachi Black, both dudes he can get in the ring and trade with, but it's more about the psychology than anything else. Both those guys are top level ring psychology guys. And that's I try to remember who my third one was. Was it Eddie Kingston? It might have been Eddie Kingston.
Hire Ryback back for a one-off just so he can beat the shit out of Ryback.
There you go. All right, what about Daniel Bryan? 3 Daniel Bryan matches.
Oh, Darby Allin. Oh, Darby Allin is the first one that comes to mind.
Now you do one and I'll do one and we'll trade. So Darby Allin. I'll take Zack Sabre Jr.
Jungle Boy.
Okada.
Kota Ibushi.
And
a healthy Kota Ibushi.
Yeah, well, obviously.
Yeah.
And I'll say I was gonna say Nick Jack. Well, I'm trying to think of someone else who's got like good submissions.
You said Zack Sabre already, right?
I did. That's the first person I said.
Yeah.
Very first person I said. And you know what? Screw it. Orange Cassidy.
That'd be real fun.
Just the feud would be so weird.
Yep.
I'd be curious how they would mesh.
The more I'm thinking about it, the more I would love to see that Bryan Danielson Jungle Boy match. Bring Bryan in as a heel. But he's going to be he's going to be so over.
Oh, forget it. They're going to have to keep him. They're going to have to turn him heel after like the first week. Like it can't. He's got to come in face for at least a little bit. Let people blow off the steam.
Yeah. And then he's just going to turn on Jungle Boy or something. Or Darby. Pick up that heat.
Yeah, there you go.
Thank you very much, Sean.
Thank you, brother.
Last but certainly not least, Mr. Costanza himself. Since Sir Ian asked, how worried would WWE be, and do you think AEW could eventually put them out of business? How worried should WWE be is the question. And do you think AEW could eventually put them out of business? And who or what could WWE do to somewhat bring back the electricity?
This is an interesting question because I think this is one of those kind of big what-if questions that people have been asking ever since AEW showed up. And everyone's been sitting here. A lot of the people that are, die-hard WWE people are saying, there's no way AEW is ever going to beat WWE. And really the only answer to that is, do they need to? Does it have to be a zero-sum game? No. And it doesn't. It doesn't have to be a zero-sum game. There is room for both companies to exist. Obviously, Vince McMahon is a very brutal businessman who will do his best to shut down his competition. But at the same time, if it's not being run like a bunch of idiots like WCW was, there's no reason why they couldn't both coexist and share the same sphere. WWE never has to go out of business. Do you know how far a company has to fall to actually go out of business? Look at TNA and Impact. You couldn't kill that company.
Yeah.
You couldn't kill that company. Good Lord. And that's with a fraction of all of the resources and history and capabilities that WWE has. Even if all of WWE's business deals fall apart, let's say, even if AEW starts to consistently beat them in the ratings, even all of this, they would have to work so hard to get to the point where AEW could step in and buy them or something like that, right? It's not a 0% chance that WWE could ever completely fail and implode and be bought. It's not likely, basically. So how worried should WWE be? I mean, they if they want to keep being the big, top, strong company and not have any other company at their same level, they should be concerned about that. I think AEW could come along and get to the level of viewership that they have. I don't know if AEW is anywhere near being as big of a company as WWE. That took years and years of infrastructure to be able to pull off.
Right.
But as far as worried, I don't think WWE needs to be that worried. But it's definitely something that they should be on the lookout for. That there's another company here that is becoming genuinely competition for them, competition for their eyes, for the eyes of people that want to watch wrestling. And there are people who are always going to want to watch the WWE product more. So in that sense, AEW is never going to completely dominate the market. I don't personally think.
Go ahead. Finish your thought.
That was it.
Okay. I have to preface this with context. If you look back at the late 90s, early 2000s, there were really only two companies. There were really only two products going on. Sure, you could say ECW. Sure, you could say OVW. But it was WWF and WCW. At the time, there was a finite number of viewers for wrestling content. You had a certain Venn diagram percentage of people that watched both, and you had the separation of the diehards that screw WWF, I'm team WCW, and vice versa. And we were getting when the purchase was made and when the merger happened, we were getting 6 and 9 million viewers on an episode of Raw. Fast forward 20 years. We're into the digital, more modern digital age. There is a ubiquitous on-demand wrestling content every hour of the day at your disposal whenever you want to watch it. There is no more tune in Monday night at 8 o'clock or you'll miss it completely. Hopefully your buddy's VCR picked up with the timer. Right? That stuff's gone. So that's why you had the live viewership that you did. Fast forward 20 years with all of the ubiquitously available content on demand whether you work third shift or whether you get up first thing in the morning and watch Raw. It's always there. It's always available. And the thing that is static, though, is that there's still a finite number of viewers and eye holes to get into. It's just more diluted now. So there we have WWE, we have AEW, we have MLW, GCW, New Japan, the list, NXT.
Right, where you couldn't easily get eyes on those things.
Right.
Before.
You had to hope your buddy had a VCR, the VHS that he got from his thing, right?
You know what? And to extrapolate on that, that's just wrestling.
Yeah.
There is so much more to watch in general. Attention spans have gotten shorter. You could watch a TikTok video and be entertained as opposed to watching 3 hours of Monday Night Raw.
And this is not a dig at her or anything, but do you know how hard it is to get Esther to focus on a 20-minute episode of Friends?
Sure.
Between Instagram stories, TikTok videos, DMs, all of that stuff.
You even admit that your way of watching Raw these days is to kind of like have it on and be watching it while doing a couple of other things.
Well, that's just because I'm
like
really effing busy. Like I have to time manage, right?
But multitasking has become the order of the day.
Yeah. So the final point I was trying to get to was this is a phenomenon that and it kind of aligns with what you were saying. This is a phenomenon that I experienced through the rise of podcasting over the last decade. There's a finite number of ears that listen to podcasts. You know what's grown? Not the number of podcast listeners, the sheer number of podcasts available, and everybody running around wondering why they're only getting 57 downloads per episode, right? Dilution. Twitch is the exact same way. It's why you see the same 10 people always having 50, 60, 100,000 viewers on Twitch. The number of viewers on Twitch hasn't gone up. In fact, it's gone down significantly. But especially with the pandemic over the last year, the number of live streamers, content producers, and creators has exponentially grown over the last couple of years. And people wonder why they can't get viewers, right? So this is not an unknown phenomenon. It's a way that you can look at social media presence. It's a way that you can look at digital marketing, awareness, and responses to emails, and you can apply this kind of logic to all kinds of stuff. It's not just about wrestling, guys. It's our society. It's the way we've changed as people and the way we consume digital content across the board.
So are you saying that there's no way that, like he's asked, can WWE bring back the electricity? You don't think there's any way that they can do that?
Oh, of course they can. Of course. It's never going to be 6 to 9 million viewers.
Right.
Never.
Right. There might not even be that many wrestling viewers anymore.
And that's not even taking into account the lightning in the bottle that they captured with Rock, Stone Cold, Shawn Michaels, Undertaker, all at the same time.
The cultural penetration that they had in that day.
Hello. Yes, exactly.
Well, that's actually that's the term for it, right? Is getting through like you said, those few Twitch streamers that have the 100,000 viewers. There's only one. What's his name? Asmongold.
Yep.
Right. There's only one of him.
There's like 10 of them. Asmongold, XQC, Trainwrecks, like Soda Poppin, like
10 out of how many streamers?
It is to be able to make enough money on Twitch to be able to fully fund your life on a monthly basis is less than 0.01% of Twitch streamers.
Yeah.
Let that sink in for a second.
But that's my point
But everybody's obsessed. Everybody wants to be a streamer. It's kind of the phase 2 of the YouTuber culture.
That's the gold rush.
It absolutely is.
It's the tech gold rush, right? Of all the people that came to California in 1849 to try to make themselves rich, how many of them actually struck gold? So I mean,
Very
again, with
Y2K
with,
again, you know.
Well, with WWE, you know, they were able to achieve that in the 90s because of lightning in a bottle, because of, you know, the coalescence of a bunch of different elements that just, they were in the right place, the right time, the right guy, the right product, and everything. Are they ever going to be able to achieve that push again? Don't know.
When people, Kyle, you make a good point. WWE is Coke for wrestling at this point. Exactly. All soda is Coke.
Kleenex.
Or pop if
Band-Aids.
you're in the Midwest, right?
Right.
All tissue is Kleenex, right? It's all. You don't say give me a tissue. You say give me a Kleenex. Do you have a Kleenex?
Don't give me a bandage. Give me a Band-Aid.
Right. So when non-wrestling fans think of wrestling, they think of Vince McMahon and WWE. They don't think of AEW or NXT or GCW or MLW.
But it's also, it's like Starbucks, where not everyone would be drinking Starbucks all the time if they hadn't penetrated culturally so much, if they weren't freaking everywhere.
But to Costanza's point, so you and me booking it, what could they do to make it exciting again? That's the crux.
But that's the thing is, like, well, WWE, like, we ain't got time to get into their booking problems right now. But the point that I'm trying to make is that sometimes it isn't just the product that you're putting out or what you're doing. It's just sometimes it's
numbers.
It's just numbers, and it's just the alignment of all the other major factors that are going on. You could have Stone Cold in WWE right now, and he wouldn't be as popular as he was in the 1990s.
Correct.
Because it's a different world entirely.
There were times in the 90s where WWF was complete dog shit and WCW ruled the roost.
Yep. Kick their butts.
There were times when the other happened, flipped it around. There are going to be right now. AEW is kind. I mean, if you look at just pure numbers and ratings, sure, WWE is still winning. But I mean, if you talk about fan favoritism, there's a lot of people shifting over to AEW right now. That doesn't mean they don't also watch what's going on Raw and SmackDown.
Young people, 18 to 30,
right?
18 to 40, that are shifting over, and that's what's kind of eyebrow raising about the whole thing. So
how can they make it electric again? I mean, shit, I don't know. Stop tearing long-term book. Stop tearing scripts up an hour before the show, Vince. That's really where this comes from.
Stop undermining your talent.
Yeah, I mean,
stop. So that's the thing is stop insulting a large portion of your audience.
That's a great way to put it. Yeah.
Stop insulting your audience. That's really the hostile attitude towards the audience is really the issue. But and it's creating an environment where the audience is hostile back.
Yeah.
And it's a downward spiral.
Yeah. Totally.
And audiences are tough sometimes. Anyway, Chris, you got a long answer from us there. That's a big, deep question. So thank you for asking it. It's very interesting to ponder. But there you go.
Well, there you go, guys. There is another episode of the BWO Mailbag. Thank you, everybody, for getting all your questions in. Shout out to everybody for all the bits and subs, and a shout out to Jay for your super chats over there. Appreciate it, man. Kyle snuck one in here last minute. 100 bits said WWE will never be put out of business at this point. There are too many deals and institutional type relationships that will keep them around. If Impact is still around after everything, the company with decades-long monopoly will stay around too. Yeah, good point.
Yeah, they'll in some form or another. That is correct.
Yeah. There we go, guys. Linktree.com/BWO. Get your questions in every week here for the Mailbag AMA show. You can join on YouTube for just $4.99 or over on Patreon at the $5 tier. Patreon.com/BWO. Or if you're on YouTube, just click that join button right down there. You can send yours in. Either way you like is fine with us. But yes, Linktree.com/BWO. I think we got a bonus episode coming for you guys, hopefully later this week. But we'll be back on Friday. Breaking down everything that happened tomorrow night on AEW Dynamite. Tonight, we have to go watch after this show on NXT and Friday Night SmackDown. So lots to talk about Friday night coming up. We're heading into SummerSlam and AEW's All Out season. I'm very excited about both of those so far. We'll see where things go. But until Friday, my name is Nick Howell. You can find me on Twitter at DataCenterDude.
And I am Sir Ian Dangerous. You can find me on Twitter at Sir Ian Dangerous.
But by God,
would somebody stop the damn match?
This show is part of the Orbital Jigsaw Network. For more episodes, subscribe to us on iTunes, Google Play, or Stitcher Radio.
For details and show notes from each episode, check us out, orbitaljigsaw.com.